In tonight's episode,
I want you to tell me distinctively, what do you do?
What I can tell you, right, this is a very good concept.
But you and this for business, right?
Yes.
Expecting to make money.
No.
Right.
We are a women empowerment organization.
Where and how do you make your money?
We also managed to get an investor in the business.
I'm very impressed that you've come back.
Yeah, no, you're sitting on gold.
My question is, why are you back?
The Eagle's Nest Youth Export Incubator Season 3, proudly brought to you by ZimTrade and Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank, in partnership with UN Women. The alarming level of food waste in the retail sector across the continent has severe environmental, economic, and social consequences. Our first entrepreneur has crafted a platform to combat this issue.
My name is Hilton Marumure. I'm a co-founder at Food Depo, a mobile platform that has been developed by Scrimp. Food Depo is a mobile platform that helps grocery stores reduce food wastage. So instead of grocery stores throwing away perfectly good food with a few days of shelf life left, they can mark the price down and post it on our platform. And our users can see the dues through their phone, pay through their phone, and visit the store anytime that day for collection. So let me show you how our platform works. So the first thing is when you log on to the platform, there is a map that allows our users to pick the store nearest to them. They choose whatever store they like, and they can view what is available in that store. From there, they can add whatever they want to cart, and if they are satisfied, they can view their cart and check their totals. If they are fine with them, they can proceed to check out and make their payment. So after that, what's left is only just to visit the store for collection. Our weekly revenue ranges between $100 to $140. That leaves us with a margin of about $20 to $40 per week. However, this platform that we are talking about here promises a better or healthy numbers. So let's take a look at the numbers. So we have annualized our total expenses, our total incomes and stuff like that. And we figured out that per annum, our expenses will total $1,200 to $1,500. And that includes our hosting, our domain, transportation, calling, and internet. We only need one store that can perform to cover all those expenses, because from the calculations we did, we figured out that a good grocery store can earn us approximately $2,000 per annum, which can cover the 1.5 or 1.2 US dollars. So only one store can cover for that, and then all the other stores will just be profit. With that, I thank you.
A synergy of sustainability and tech designed to make a positive impact on both businesses and consumers. Wisdom is first with the questions.
All right, thank you very much for your presentation. I'd like to find out, how many stores have you listed so far?
Currently, we have one store. We have talked with them. We have done everything with them. So they like the product, so we are still working to get them on board.
Your discussions are around the discount.
Grocery stores, what they do, I'll give an example for, let's say, chicken breast. They can throw it or they can send it to the landfill approximately 72 hours before the best before date. So what we are doing is we are saying, okay, before that point in time when you say we are sending this food to the landfill, you can post it on our platform. Our users can see those deals and then they can buy. So basically, our partnership is just to divert food from the landfills.
Okay, the landfill story is the nice story. But you in this for business, right?
Yes.
Expecting to make money, right?
Yes and no. So the way we make money is we take 25% off of every transaction.
So you've mentioned the chicken. So it's anything with an expiration date and what else?
So what we have worked with so far is mainly from the fruit and veg department, the perishables, bakery, and deli.
So for instance, a can of tomato paste, which is about to go off. So the expiration date is 3 days from now. The supermarket has to contact you and say, we've got a batch that's expiring, or you also now keep track of their inventory and the expiration date on certain line.
Okay, so the goodness of the platform, we have another platform which the grocery stores use to upload foodstuffs on the platform, the user interface. So they don't have to contact us or do anything like that. They just log on to their account, post whatever they want to make available, and instantly it will show on the platform.
What I can tell you, right, this is a very good concept. It's a revolutionary concept. You know, I actually, at some point, I saw this is happening in Europe on the World Economic Forum, right? And I was like, why is it that this is not being also done in Africa? So I'm actually very happy that you guys have started this, because we as Africa, you know, annually, we lose 1.3 billion tons of food, which is going to waste because of, you know, there's no waste management plan that we have, right? So having a platform like this can actually solve the problems.
Hilton is off to a good start, with Leslie acknowledging the idea's potential to ripple across borders and combat food waste in the African retail sector. Now, Wisdom is back with a pragmatic approach.
Okay, let's do a practical exercise, okay?
Yes.
Glide Time has a product that's $10, okay? This product is set to expire in a week's time, okay? Glide Time has set a price of, let's say, what? $7 for it, okay? To the supermarket. The supermarket puts their markup of $3, okay? This product is supposed to move to your application, okay? What happens in that instance? Because the thing is, a supermarket gets goods on consignment.
Yes.
The goods are not theirs, right?
Yes.
So now there's another party. So for the supermarket to now list them on your thing, they need permission from?
So it's up to them, because if they...
Up to who?
Up to the store and up to the manufacturer.
Okay.
So the store, at their own discretion, they know best. So they decide, we have this arrangement with the manufacturer, so this is what we can do.
Okay, so let's say he agrees to $5, okay? Let's say he agrees to $5, okay? Then they list it for how much? And what percentage of that is yours?
The store, when they make the decision to discount the product, they have our commission in mind.
So your percentage is what?
25% of the discounted price.
Of the full price?
Okay, hang on. The shop that you currently have, how many products do you have that they've given you permission to upload on your app?
Currently, what we are doing, we're actually buying the stock.
This makes your situation even worse. You are now carrying risk on a product that has 72 hours shelf life left.
So the platform is the ultimate solution to that, because we wanted something that is less capital intensive, less labor intensive, and less risky.
How is it less risky when you're buying?
Uh-oh. Hilton exposes a flaw in his business model, creating a wave of doubt regarding the idea's sustainability. It appears Nomvula is ready to render her verdict.
Your presentation looks very nice, But I think in terms of execution right now, you still have a lot of work that needs to be done. And I think if anything, rather than judging at this stage, I think more than anything is to be giving you recommendations. I think what you really need are recommendations as to what can propel, your app. So for me, it's a no for today, but I need you to go back and refine and come back with a more fine-tuned and very specific presentation as to the pros of listing with your app for the consumer, for the manufacturer, and for the retail stores.
The entrepreneur's luck seems to have expired. Will he be able to salvage the remaining votes, or is his idea bound for the landfill?
I think you guys have got a very, 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 very interesting concept. I can have my deal with maybe these major supermarkets is when we are close to expiry, or even when the product expires, they return it back to me and they give me a credit note on it, right? And I suffer the losses, right? So you can actually then also partner, not just with the retailers, but also partner with the manufacturers. Because most of the manufacturers, they take the product before it expires 1 day or 1 month, two months, or things like that. Some of them then knock the price down to have an in-store discount, right? So for you, I think it's also better to have a database of manufacturers whom you can also keep track what is happening with your product in the market, right? So that at least when they get a GRV, right, when the stock is returned to them from the supermarket, right, at least you can absorb at a cost that then covers the overhead cost or that breaks even. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
So this is a very, very noble concept, I can assure you, because the food waste that we are having is equivalent to the number of people that we have as a continent. We lose 1.3 billion tons, we've got 1.3 billion people in Africa. So actually, if that application is actually cleaned up very well, it can actually solve a problem for the entire continent.
Leslie firmly defends the viability of this novel concept, citing its potential to curb losses across Africa. The question now lingers: will this perspective strike a chord with the remaining judges?
Yeah, I think for me, it's more of the interface. What do I see as the customer wanting to buy? How much information does it give me? Does it tell me the actual expiration date? What are the logistics between me getting this? Because it's no longer with the supermarket. Where is it? Right? How do you get it to me? How long will it take you to get it to me? Right? Because now time is of the essence. The concept is good, but your window is so fixed and there's a lot of risk involved there. You're definitely going to be sitting on excess stock. You're definitely going to get something that is, requires special storage. How are you managing all those things? It's really still at the concept stage. Yeah, but I do believe that it has massive potential. But at this stage, it's a no from me.
The fractures in the business model have proven to be significant obstacles, leading 2 judges to withhold their endorsements. For Leslie, the concept seems to have stirred a wave of memories.
When I started my business, I actually was doing that, but the manual way. We used to go to distributors and buy products. And after getting products, we then sell them in the streets at discounted prices because their shelf life is now very small, right? But the risk that was there is probably I went there, I took 10 tons of fruit juices that are about to expire, right? That have got 3 months of expiry. And then those fruit juices don't get sold out before that expiry date reaches, which then can also then tempt you to continue selling even if the product has expired. And the reason why I left it is because I knew I cannot manage this trade-off. To me, I couldn't, sell something that has already expired. But the temptation is huge. So I had to leave that business because of that. So I'm going to give you a yes based on the fact that you are going to give me a convincing response on your next time if you make it through with the other judges.
My brother, I just want to ask a question. How much are you making a month?
We are making $80 to $100 a month.
Okay. So how do you split your profits?
So for now, we were not paying ourselves. What we were doing with those, we were just putting them back into the business.
And how do you put it back in the business? I'm trying to understand and take you somewhere.
Maybe we need to pay for our domains, we need to pay for our internet, we need to pay for our calling, our transport and stuff like that.
I'm with the same sentiments with Wisdom, because there's a lot of things that, when you say 72 hours shelf life left, right? And you get that. Even if you do get the 30 days, I don't think you have the capacity yet to be able to do something that, logically makes sense to all of us. So from me, it's going to be a no, but I hope that gives you some motivation to go back and work, because your presentation is good, but your figures and your logistics and everything else is not satisfying all of us. So you have a lot of work to do. Brilliant idea, but fortunately, it's a no from 3 judges.
Yeah, no, you're sitting on gold. And I'm willing to give you a deal, eh?
Thank you
Please
very
look
much.
for me. I'm willing to give you a deal.
Don't look at this from an angle of us judging you. You came here for good recommendations to help further what you're doing. Then I think if we see you later on at a different time after you've done everything you've been told here, we'll definitely be having a different conversation. But we wish you well.
You can be a billionaire next year.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Tonight, the entrepreneur leaves the nest with 1 vote, the journey ending sooner than hoped, yet armed with valuable insights from the judges. In the face of ongoing inequalities throughout the continent, our next entrepreneur presents a solution to advance women's rights and promote their equitable participation in society.
So with this program, I'm hoping that I'll know how to expand. It's been something that I've been thinking of doing, but the how part of expanding, I am blank. So I'm hoping that after this program, I'll be able to expand and to spread my wings. Of the 60 companies that are listed on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, only 3 companies are headed by women. According to United Nations Population Fund, 1 in 3 women has experienced physical violence, and 1 in 4 women has experienced sexual violence. According to Transparency International Zimbabwe, 57% of the women that are in the corporate world have been forced to offer sexual services or sexual favors in exchange for jobs. And what if I tell you that the solution for these problems is present? Empowerment trainings. Honorable judges, my name is Tanyaradzwa, the team leader at the Tanyaradzwa Initiative, a change agent that is aimed at educating, empowering, and impacting the lives of the young female adults, not only in Zimbabwe, but in Africa. We believe that empowerment trainings, they provide the development and growth opportunities for women. And by empowerment trainings, we are talking about the knowledge, the skills, and the support. We have 5 key areas that we focus on. Firstly, self-love, economic empowerment, climate change, public speaking, and reproductive health. We believe that women need to be given the chance to occupy space and leadership positions, but at the same time, they need to be given the skill for them to speak in public and to speak with charisma, because it's not just about having the academic qualifications, but it's also about how you present yourself before people and say what you want to do. So another thing, one of our empowerment trainings is offering public speaking training sessions to the women. It's so disheartening that cervical cancer is the #1 leading cause of death in women, followed by breast cancer. And the causes are that maybe it's detected late, or maybe you received the diagnosis late. So one of the empowerment trainings that we offer is for breast and cervical cancer, how you can actually see that you have the disease at a very early stage. So we don't only do cervical cancer, we provide empowerment training sessions on the whole the female reproductive system. So we also offer trainings on menstruation, sexually transmitted diseases, vaginal irritations and discharges, love, marriage and relationships, pregnancy and family planning, breast and cervical cancer, sexual harassment, rape, as well as human rights and gender-based violence. In March 2019, did you know that 70,000 pregnant women were affected by Cyclone Idai? Do you know that 1 in 10 of those women had very serious complications in giving birth? And do you know that 15,000 women in Chimanimani, they were affected, they were exposed to gender-based violence due to the disruptions that were caused by the cyclone? So the million-dollar question is, how can young female adults make sure that they alleviate the causes as well as the effects of climate change? So one of the empowerment training sessions that we provide is to educate women that climate change is not just about the causes, the changing of the weathers, but what actions are we doing every day that are leading to that? And how best can we collaborate as young female adults to ensure that the effects and the causes are alleviated? I talked about self-love at the beginning. Do you know that identity crisis makes a woman vulnerable to abuse everywhere? In the community, in the workplace, and all the walks of life. So some of the training programs that we provide are on self-awareness, self-honesty, self-trust, self-expression, self-development, self-empowerment, as well as self-esteem. Because for you to experience empowerment, you need to be able to forgive your past, to accept that this is the reality, and to embrace your uniqueness. All those empowerment training sessions that we do, some of them we have Zoom sessions. So we have other African countries like Liberia, Chad, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Ghana, Cameroon, Malawi as well, who are part of that. So with the rights, help and assistance, we would want to expand our offices there because we believe that the issues that we are dealing with, they are quite universal. Sexual harassment, gender-based violence, these are issues that are affecting all the women. And with the right support, we'll be able to expand.
A confident but lengthy pitch from Tanya. It appears she has left the judges with more questions than answers. Nomvula has one crucial question to ask.
I have one daunting question on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Where and how do you make your money?
We have subscriptions. So we have 100 members that are affiliated to the organization. Each member is supposed to pay $2 per month. And as we do all the trainings, we charge the fees.
How much do you charge?
It depends with the program, because the minimum is $5 for 1 day, but we have what we call the annual Ladies Empowerment Bootcamp that goes for 4 days. That one, it ranges from $130 to $250.
Per individual?
Per individual.
And how many people do you usually have coming in for that?
Usually a minimum of 10 to a maximum of 35. I think the most that we had was 40 members. No, 50 members actually.
So are you a training academy, an empowerment / advocate for women empowerment?
We are a women empowerment organization. So how do we empower women? Those are the 5 areas I was talking about. Because in empowering women, we are looking...
You're missing my question.
Uh-huh.
Are you an advocate for women empowerment?
Yes.
Yes.
We're a women empowerment
You're
organization.
also a training and development.
We are a women empowerment organization. How do we empower women? Through trainings.
So that makes you a training academy?
No. We are a women empowerment organization. How do we empower women? We train them.
Clarity is paramount in the nest. Can the entrepreneur untangle the knots of confusion? Or will the core of her business continue to be a puzzle?
In 2 sentences, I want you to tell me distinctively, what do you do?
Okay. The Tanyaradzwa Initiative is a change agent that educates, empowers, and impacts the lives of young female adults through skills trainings and providing access to opportunities for all.
Yeah. I'm just trying to understand, okay, who is your target client besides the subscription? Do you have anyone else who becomes a stream of revenue for your business?
Yes. Our target markets, we are targeting all high school graduates and students, meaning we are talking about our schools, all high schools in Zimbabwe. That's our client.
Who pays you?
Okay. So firstly, the schools, because we are targeting high schools.
Okay.
Secondly, the university students, right? And thirdly, young professionals. And fourthly, small business owners. That's our targets. As long as they're between the ages of 15 and 40, and the high school students and graduates, university students, young professionals, and small business owners, that's our targets.
Okay.
From your initial presentation, right, you gave us a feel that probably your focus is more of boardroom, it's more of corporate, right? The statistic that you gave us was on listed companies, right? But then your trainings, I thought from your introduction, your trainings or your empowerment programs were going to be more of corporate empowerment programs. But now your target market then goes to like the marginalized. To me, there's been like a disconnect to say, okay, I think this is a good initiative, but it's too broad. To me, honestly, it's like you are dealing with every woman. And yeah, it's every woman. Like, I mean, you're just too many to really, you know, take care of. To really take care of that spectrum.
My challenge
Yeah.
is that, you know, we've been trying to get the gist of what you do, right? Eagle's Nest is an export incubator program, right? We are trying to get to the product that you want to export, okay? We are trying to help you get there, okay? What you can sell from our perspective is the training. Dosakatati, you're a training organization. We're trying to get the product that it can be packaged for export. We're trying to focus, okay? So that we can judge you fairly. Are we together now?
Yes, we are together.
Right. Your subscriptions require large numbers. You know, $2. I get that you want to be inclusive and make sure that everyone has access to your trainings, but you really need the numbers. You know, $200 a month is not going to get you very far. That's the honest truth. $200 should be, you know, what you'd spend on refreshments for the training program. You see, I don't know how extensive your 4-day programs are, but from $5 to $150, I'm trying to understand, you know, the difference in the content.
Yeah.
You know, if 1 day is $5,
Too broad.
4 days is $150. There's a big disparity there.
It also depends with the number of trainers. Let's say for the $5 one is just one trainer, but when we have the 4-day one, we have 20, we can go to 20 trainers. So the budget becomes also big because each trainer has a budget.
Unless your training sessions are subsidized by an NGO or by a corporate that's doing some form of CSR, your pricing points already are not sustainable for it to be a business. Okay. Unless you are now just doing just charity work for yourself for the good of it and you're saying, look, I just want to cover a few expenses here and there. At a $5 mark for any level of training, really, I don't know the numbers you'd need. I don't know the numbers you'd need to be engaging. Unless these are people who are coming in, there's absolutely no water or anything at all that you're giving them or any training content to take with.
Tanya's presentation has had a few bumps, but the judges now find themselves at a critical point where decisions can be made.
Well, I think women empowerment is very important. If you look, one of our greatest African leaders, Thomas Sankara, in 83-84, he actually came with a women empowerment drive. and it really changed the state of Burkina Faso by then, right? So we really appreciate the work that you're doing, right? I think if you just take corporates, I also subscribe to the corporate narrative. If you just take corporates and deal with the corporate as the target market, right? Create a business case around it that can then help you streamline your business and actually get the best out of it. So for me, I really want you to go back and reorganize yourself, try and, build a better business case, and pretty much I expect to have you here next year. So for me, it's a no for now.
I'm going to say to you that you've got a great concept, but I think you need to zoom in and focus on what you want to specialize in. And I think, the best thing you're going to benefit from Eagle Nest is the mentorship. Now, there's so many people who have come and gone. Some will even come back because they've refined themselves and now they know what they want to do. So I'm going to give you a no because I think you need to go back, put all this input to use, right? Go and look at what your unique selling prep is, your USP. Find that, zoom into that, and become a master at that. So my no is for you to go back and really sharpen yourself and come back stronger.
My assessment is that you're very smart, very smart, and that's a strength, right? But it's also a weakness because you'll keep building and writing a document and stop and get into the trenches, right? That's where you'll actually realize where you're most impactful. Focus. I think that's the key takeaway for you today. Focus. I'm going to give you a no. But I'm expecting to hear more from your organization in terms of what you've decided finally to focus on. If I were you, I'd focus on the workplace. Ultimately you want to make money, right? Community projects are your CSR program. After you've made money elsewhere, then you go into the community and help, the less privileged. All the best.
For this stage of Eagle's Nest, you have a great concept, but you are not ready for what Eagle's Nest would require of you. So target the corporate. Let the corporate be the one that's going to help you go and assist in the marginalized communities the way you want to. Because you speak so passionately about it that I feel like it's coming from a very personal place. And because it's coming from a personal place, you want to make sure that everyone has access to it. But there's a way you now need to restructure your business model for it to be something that all of them can still access, but it becomes profitable for you. So I think you need to look at yourself more, maybe from a social enterprise type aspect, and we take it from there. But until then, I think this isn't the right time to be coming onto this platform. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for
Tanya.
your time.
Okay.
The entrepreneur's pitch, while filled with determination, became entangled in complexity. Despite not securing a vote, Tanya leaves with valuable insights gathered from the panel. Ready to face the judges again is Ngonidzache from Thandie's village. In the previous season,
See here, you have written 100% organic. Have you already got the certification to it? I've gone round just to track on the nutritional information. I couldn't see any, which is something that you also need to factor on the packaging, the nutritional information.
Okay.
Unless if I missed it, if it's somewhere.
I'm a bit nervous, but it's the second time, so I think with Leslie, we are hoping to show him our improvements because he had some issues with the packaging and then some certification as well. All of the judges compared to the last time required different things. So I'm hoping that this time around I have fixed those issues. My name is Ngonizashe Majura from Thandie's Village Baobab range of products, and I'm here to present to you once again. Thank you for having me. My story, Baobab, was an inspiration from the traditional way of life as African who lived in harmony with nature. So I was mostly inspired by my mother, whose name is Thandie, hence the name Thandie's Village, who is as resilient as the baobab tree. So from our last pitch last year, we have made some changes as a business, starting with our location. Last year, we were based in Chegbutu, and now we have a factory operating in Masasa. Last year, our turnover was 1,800, and our forecast for this year is 14,000. Our gross margin was 21%, and now it's 57%. We were hand making these products last year, and now we are using machinery. So our capacity through hand making was 120 kgs in a month, and then this year it's 21,500 kgs in a month. We had one machine last year, and this year we have 6 machines, which have increased our capacity. And our product range is still the same, but we are working towards adding more products to the market as per demand. We also had just 3 employees last year, and then this year we have 7, and are hoping to grow to 15 with our growing capacity as well. As you can see from some of the packaging next to you, last year we had these cans for packaging, but then we have noticed that the market that we want to penetrate is more familiar with eco-friendly packaging and biodegradable packaging. So there's a sample of the baobab powder that you have. That's sample of what our new packaging will look like. We'll be moving from the tins, which were also very costly for our production, moving to the biodegradable paper, which is eco-friendly, and it's also good for costing. Our expectations from the Eagle's Nest, first of all, is export readiness. And then we also want to certify our products. There's a lot of certification required with baobab. For example, fair trade, fair wild, organic certification, HACCP, and also certifying on your sources as well. We also want to have a traceability effect from where we source our baobab to where we sell it from. So we want to be able to trace from, if it's a bag of 50 kgs, we know that it's sourced in this certain area at this certain time to the market. And also now we are also able to make a huge impact in the social impact in Zimbabwe. Compared to last year where we were just getting a few baobabs, now we have a village that is collecting baobab for us, which is also helping their own livelihoods as well. Thank you.
A tale of lessons learned and innovations harnessed. Ngonizashe is determined to rewrite her story in the nest. Leslie is first to comment.
Before you came, I actually told my friends here to say, I think the village has been turned into a city, because of the migration and the work that we have done. And I can see there are positive strides in the right direction, and well done on it. And that courage of actually saying, last year, yes, but this year I need to, to get there. It's actually commendable. That fighting spirit, resilience is something that I really admire.
I'm actually very encouraged just looking at your presentation and you being able to account for the growth that you've made since the last episode. Maybe you could shed a little bit more light on why certain lines, you've already cut them off as much as you're now expanding into your bigger workspace. I noticed some of your cosmetics lines now are no longer available. Can you share the rationale to that?
Sure. So with the other cosmetic line, which was the baobab scrub, we are now working with the demand of the market. So sometimes you can make the scrub, but the demand for the market is not there. So it ends up staying for too long in the factory or the warehouse, and it ends up going bad. So at least bit by bit, if you introduce one line, which is the oil, when people familiarize with it, and then you can introduce something else, and they know the brand. So it's easy for them to trust you enough to use that other product.
Precise and confident responses from the entrepreneur. George is interested in knowing the new distribution channels.
I'm very impressed that you've come back. And unlike other people who come back and haven't done much, you've come back with a lot of developments. And I like the fact that you've sized down. You're more now on focusing on the brand and specific products, which is good. So I'm really happy with that. I just wanted to ask you one question. How are you selling your products? On what platforms?
In the last year, we also managed to get an investor in the business. So our investor is based in Germany, and they are focusing on that market. But the local markets that we are into are the smaller retail stores, but by the end of the year, we'll be in other bigger retail stores.
So I'm one person who's very passionate about social media. And I'm not happy with what I saw on your Facebook page because there's not anything there. I actually didn't see a product besides, 2 or 3 pictures. So I don't think you're doing justice, especially now that you have an international community which is seeking after your products. So I think you need to, put each product and explain and have this story that goes on to sell your products, because now you're not just a local player. Now you're an international player because there's people who have invested in your vision. I feel your social media is not really on point. It's not about posting a lot, but just to show the products you have. And that will improve already what you've done, what I've visibly seen. So I really want you to work on your social media presence and sell this story.
George appears unimpressed by the business's online presence, and Wisdom has been withholding a pressing question.
My question is, why are you back?
So the reason why we are back, our main objective is for export readiness. As much as we might understand the market, as much as we might have the product, but we need help from Eagle's Nest to prepare us for the market. Because sometimes you do know what the market is like, but you do not know what happens once you're in the market. So that's the main reason why we are back in Eagle's Nest.
My second question is, now that you have an investor, you're building capacity, you've improved your product, you've been doing a lot of background work to improve the business. What are your plans on improving all the touch points of your brand?
Unlike before, I was doing most of the work, marketing, sales, production. I was in all those areas. But now we definitely do need assistance. If it's marketing, someone who's into marketing. If it's sales, someone who's into sales. That way, when one person is focusing in one area, that also improves the...
Where would you want to place yourself?
So with these projects, I would love to be in Pick n Pay. I'd love to be in Bon Marché, in all those big retail markets in Zimbabwe, but also out of Zimbabwe, the big retail stores as well.
So do you think that delegating the brand identity now is good? Do you think someone else will be able to communicate exactly the essence of your brand?
Maybe not, but with the marketing, it's mostly social media, because in this era, most people are always on social media. It's also brand awareness, moving around. If it's in TM Pick n Pay, you have someone who's there in store explaining the product to people.
Leslie, I don't know if a distributor would be good at this point. I don't know. You'd know better on that.
It's very important to take ownership now, because you need to relate with the market. It's a whole world on its own. There are dynamics that are there. You need to also create relationships with the guys that are on the ground and the guys that even take your products, and understand the dynamics of the market. And at a later stage, that's when you can bring in a distributor. So I think it's too early. You might need to push for about maybe 4 or 5 years, leading from the front. And then probably at a certain stage, you then migrate to, so that you focus now on production. If you want to engage a distributor, it might be an issue of then merchandising, just making sure the merchandise is well taken care of in shop. But in terms of deal structuring, negotiating for terms and things like that, orders and, and everything, that's something that you might then need to also learn, before you quickly hand over. I think there's now need for you to really learn, the dynamics around the industry, because now your target market is now a bit bigger and broader. And now I can actually see your focus on export. You wouldn't want to then take a defective product in Germany or in Poland or in Czech Republic. It's difficult to retrieve, and it also messes up your reputation. So I think the direction is good, and I like it. And for me, it's a yes.
Thank you.
A note of approval and insightful advice from Leslie, the judge she aimed to impress. Will this pave the way for unanimous support? Nomvula has a few more questions to ask.
Are you still selling whilst you're in this expansion stage of yours right now?
Yes, we are.
You are still selling?
Yes, we are.
Okay, and how are your sales performing since you left Eagle's Nest?
So the way that we penetrated the market this year was starting with the candy. So with the candy, for example, we are selling in smaller markets as little as Total Service Station. You can find our products in there, and working upwards to the TM, Pick and Pay. And the sales have been going up.
It's too early in the game for you to really want to hand off some of the responsibilities, especially around the marketing end of things. You are the brand, and you need to be the ambassador of your brand right now. And make sure that the way it's being narrated in the market is the way you want it to be. Because as much as you'll train somebody else, I think you're still too early in the game for you to delegate someone else to handle that for you. And it's a very, very delicate time. So for me, I think you're doing very, very well. And I'd love to see how you progress this time around in Eagle's Nest. And it's a yes from me.
Take ownership of your brand. Make sure that you are the face of what you're doing. When people see Thandie's Village, I want them to see your story. I want them to see your face so much and really emphasize more. When you come back, really, we want to see a lot more. I personally want to see more on your social media, all these individual products, so that at least there's reference for it. From me, it's a yes.
Thank you.
So what happens to the story of Chegutu?
So we are working towards building something in Chegutu, because after all, that is where we started. And also we really want to make a huge social impact in Chegutu. As much as we were small scale then, but we had so many women who helped us grow to where we are now. So in the next 10 years, not next year, not today, we would love to build something there in Chegutu.
Yeah, you see, I think as your brand grows, documenting that is very important. People want to see, how you impacted the community, the women that you assisted, where they are now, how you intend on going back, what you intend on doing there, and they'll feel a part of the growth of the brand. I mean, it's important not to lose the essence of the brand, because I can see you're going very commercial, but the story is very important. Keep that story, tell that story over and over again so people can relate to your story. Well done on the improvements. It's a yes from me.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well
Congratulations.
done.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
A journey marked by setbacks and lessons has become a canvas for resilience and evolution.
I guess that's our first return for this season.
Oh yeah, it's our first return, and it's encouraging.
And she's come back on fire.
She's definitely come back on fire.
She's done everything.
Serious improvement, eh?
Gonizashe secures a unanimous vote, propelling her to the next stage. Next on the Eagle's Nest.
You are at a place where the best benefit you'll get from ZimTrade is mentorship for now.
I think already for me, I've identified a problem there.
I'm a bit worried about your current capacity.
I'm being led by the market to produce what I'm producing.
I am looking forward to upscale my business.
The reason why I'm not doing that is because I understand the market.
The best thing I ever learned in business is that I'm not special.
This season of The Eagle's Nest is proudly brought to you by ZimTrade and Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank, in partnership with UN Women.